for either of these players. Let me just fix the vision thing real quick. It's a weird bug. And it looks like we've actually had the bug here where the teams aren't grouped up again. So again, this is actually better than any other overlay out there, but obviously it still has a couple of bugs to work out, guys, so our apologies for this. Hopefully it doesn't happen for Game 2. But looks like it's just a random occurrence for the time being. However, we're back at the 2 versus tournament, and spawning here in the bottom left corner of Crystal Pools, it's going to be Team APS, Team Axiom Professional Streamers, featuring the blue Protoss player Crank, and his teammate, the light blue Terran Hart.
In the upper right, as Team Super Symbol, I wonder how they got that name. It's the green Zerg Symbol and the red Terran SuperNova.
Yeah, really hard. I have no idea what they did. They probably had like a strategy session, 10 hours, probably hired somebody.
Oh, like, they probably went like random.org, you know? Just really worked. It worked out really nicely.
I was really glad that SuperNova could play this, to be honest with you. Again, kind of going on what we saw in that first game, like if there's a guy who's going to use these legends for tanks, it's going to be SuperNova of anybody, right? I don't really know where his plans are, but one thing I've seen is Mech actually holds up pretty darn well in 2v2s. Not just like kind of okay, but like really well. So Hart very well may travel down that path as well. I don't know, but this is essentially the semifinals of the winners bracket, guys. Keep in mind, it is double elimination due to the fact that we had so few teams for tonight, but I do hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. Again, we'd love to hear your feedback on the Team Liquid thread. Let us know if you've been enjoying the 2v2 matches, because this is definitely something I am so stoked to do more of if there's enough interest for it.
Oh, we have a non-mirror matchup, so TZ versus TP.
Oh, look at this. The first element of team play we've seen, like really true team play.
This is really nice, like walling off the natural so they can both expand.
Yeah, this is actually really cool. I like this move a lot.
Yeah, and it's not really an option for SuperNova and Symbol. Symbol being, you know, BM Zerg and whatnot. And in the most unfortunate position, you can't spread your creep without being a dick, okay? It's not that I wanted to be. Well, actually, after a while, I wanted to be because it was really funny. But at first, I was just like, this is a consequence of being in the wrong position.
Yeah. It's funny that you like this happened as I've and myself, and our friendship pretty much ended. It died.
Yes, we're not friends anymore.
Due to this, yeah. This is actually, for me, this is a really great series, though, because Crank is someone I've been playing 2v2s with for a long time. We've been enjoying doing it for a while. It started off as 2 versus Tuesday. We had a bit of fun back, once upon a win. Crank, there's a facepalm Crank emote. I'm sure one of our subs or mods will link to you guys. That was basically the result of him playing with me. But it was fun, and I've got to see Crank actually play really well. When Crank plays Protoss, that is. Crank playing random, however, if he gets Zerg, it doesn't go so well. Crank is like, he's like Rifkin levels of quote-unquote good when he plays Zerg, you know? Like...
Interesting. I don't know how I got GM as random then.
Right? You lose the Zerg games, win all the others. 100% Protoss, 100% Terran, 0% Zerg. No, I'm just teasing. I love Crank. But the reason I bring this up isn't to toot my own horn. It's just, it's really cool that I've seen Crank play firsthand. I know he knows strategies for 2v2. He doesn't play it like there's 2 players playing a 1v1. He actually plays a team game for this. And he's going to play dirty.
Ooh. Ew.
Oh, Symbol's not going to scout this either.
A little unfortunate that he does proxy nearest to the Zerg. Now, it's still going to get a lot of kills, mind you, but it's not like, you know, if they don't know what's coming and the SCVs have to be pulled, like, there's a lot of SCVs, but the Queen's there, so, like, you know, like, the Queen doesn't get as many kills, but it's still going to be really deadly, really dirty, actually, I should say. Especially if there aren't any Marines helping out. SuperNova, when you open up with a Reaper, so... Not too many Marines, no.
Well, we do have the actual, despite this cheese out of Crank, this is still kind of a macro game, all things considered. He is looking to expand back at home.
Hey, Reaper. Hey, Reaper. Where you going, Reaper? How do you know?
Oh, you know what? The Overlord actually sat with the pylon.
Oh, God. Rifkin, you noticed one Overlord. You didn't notice the other Overlord.
Team play, Zombie Grove. Team play. Well, this one wasn't in position before, I don't think. I don't know. Maybe it was. I'm terrible. Scan does go down, though, from Harsh. Gonna see what's waiting for him. Crank's gonna realize, okay, there's a Spore Crawler, there's a Queen. Not worth his time. He's gonna go right past this to the other base. So SuperNova actually has enough Marines for this. So this Oracle is so limited on what it can actually do. Bit unfortunate for Crank to lose this early, but again, in a 2v2, this is not nearly as devastating as if you had lost this in a 1v1.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's not the reason why you really hope you're not on the side of the Zerg. I mean, no matter what, the Zerg's gonna try and cover as many places as possible with the Overlord, but especially just like right down below their base. That's like the habitual place you put the Overlords. You know, you're like, where else can I put my Overlord? Okay, below my base. That's when I'm gonna start sending them over.
Yeah, pretty much. We do have a lot of Hellions coming out of Heart. This Reaper should not be too much of a problem to take care of. Cloak Banshee is a very interesting choice, but yeah, okay, there we go, the extra bunkers, or barracks, pardon me. I was gonna see, like, does he go into mech or does he play bio? SuperNova, on the other hand, I was expecting him to play mech, if anybody, also invest in a bio. He's still back halfway finished.
It's the map, too, for tanks.
I know. There's so many good ways you could abuse it, especially with this low ground over here. Not to say that you can't go tanks because you went bio, but you're less inclined to, of course.
Well, that was like a bait.
That was a free kill bait.
Just open up my factory.
It's like, you know, that's a guy going fishing with a net is what that was, pretty much. Okay, well, Symbol back at home. He's really well defended against the Oracle. Crank has gotten 3 kills from this in total, really nothing much. Yeah, both players' economies just looking, quite frankly, fine. Again, it's going to be kind of a more macro-ish game, but that's not a bad thing at all. We got to see a really epic back and forth already once today. Different dynamic with Terran.
Terrans in team games, I guess, in general, they do have kind of like this odd choice to make about what composition they go to, and it does seem like tank bio is the best one to do.
Well, I think the problem is when you go tanks normally, right, in any situation, whether it's mech or bio, they're usually kind of exposed. That's what makes them such a burden to go for. But when you've got your entire, like a whole nother person to back you up with another army, I think that's what makes tanks almost like kingmakers in this matchup.
Yeah, well, I think it's also kingmaker because team games do generally become like A move and A move, even if the players are really, really good. I mean, just eventually you have like gigantic army versus gigantic army. And, well, like how much micro can you really do with how fast battles happen in StarCraft 2? So tanks usually are very, very helpful, but then of course you don't get the benefit of having, you know, a lot of units to drop with and really harass your opponent. And the reason that I bring this up is because we actually have both Terrans doing 2 different things. You know, we do have Heart going for what is supposedly, I guess, the better composition with the tanks, but then SuperNova, no tanks yet. I don't even know if he's going to go tanks, but he might start to really, you know, focus on dropping a lot.
Look at good guy Crank, just trying to help Heart get this base. See you in 10 years. We do have Banshee still doing a bit of harass. It was floating around. I think he finally got picked off. But for Symbol's sake, I mean, this is a pretty large Roach army. If he decides to actually push instead of defend, I mean, he's going to meet a lot of tanks. So that's not going to go too well for him.
Yeah. And of course, you know, tanks. I mean, if I was to say, like, tanks wouldn't, like, you know, like, we're actually talking 2v2 strategy here. If tanks were not the best way to go, it'd be because of the map, right? Like most maps and most, you know, 1v1 situations too. And this would be that map, you know, the tanks don't really cover a lot of bases. They cover the 4, like the 2 that you're gonna get no matter what. And then there's no other like choke point. It is very wide open.
Well, you know, this is kind of cool, whether it was intended to be or not. This is like the biggest bait out of Symbol. It makes it looks like he's going for this big all-in attack, but while the Oracle, as well as all these units fell back to follow the Roaches, SuperNova snuck out 2 medevacs undetected, and Heart's base has got no turret coverage. That sensor tower finishes, but like, is it too late is the question. SuperNova may still just go in with this. I think that would be a good choice. There's very little to defend.
Yeah. Now with the tanks guarding the front, as well as Crank helping out to guard the front, it's not so difficult to, you know, defend on both sides. In fact, Symbol tried. Oh, he's killing the tanks. That's what he's doing.
Oh, over here got sniped off. Okay.
Yeah. Tried to burrow too. Didn't quite work out. But I mean, that was like what, like less than half of the Roaches that were there for I think 2 tanks.
Got the mothership core. Yeah, I mean, taking out those tanks means the Roaches is certainly doing a bit more work. Now there is gonna be that detection from the Oracle, but.
The Observer?
Or the Observer, pardon me, thank you. But I don't think he realized it was outside of the base, so if he had actually just kept going forward, he would have eventually left the vision.
Yeah, but I mean, they're scans, so you never want to take that chance.
True enough.
Two forms of detection there. That was good attack. I mean, they are going to be the more aggressive players, just the way that they have their units, you know? Crank is going up to a bunch of...
SuperNova's
we're not paying attention. Yeah. Not paying attention. Gets away with most of his units, but anyways, Crank going for like Colossus, for like these big heavy units that they can't be caught, you know, unawares out in the base, like only 2 Colossus. And then Heart was gonna go for tanks. Not a lot of tanks. I'm kind of surprised he didn't go for a second factory if that is his choice.
I guess what do you ask Symbol to do if you're SuperNova in this, right? Like, hey buddy, can you go Corruptors for me? I don't want to go Vikings. But at the same time, you can't really take on that air army without, or the ground army pardon me, without the support of SuperNova. So
you're gonna ask a Zerg to go Corruptors? Are you mean?
I know, right? Hey, can you just be useful for like 10 seconds and useless for the rest? Like, no, I just it's a tough situation to be in because there are going to be this Colossus and they are going to shut down this bio really well. There are no Vikings in play, and maybe the Hydras have got a little bit of extra damage, sure, but Crank and Heart's army just looks like it's going to be way too much to deal with.
Heart's army supply is, you know, the beefiest right now.
It's the best. It's #1. It's the only one in triple digits.
Yeah, exactly. Without even that second upgrade, that can't even really keep track of upgrades right now. Symbols are pretty good. +2.
Ooh, catches some more SuperNova's units out of position once more. Gets that Widowmine as well. A couple medevacs.
What also happens is that like the tanks kind of cover what Marauders like sometimes cover, basically. Oh. So when it comes to a TVT fight, the one with more Marines is always going to win. You know, like Marauders actually don't help out that much.
SuperNova did kind of something really cool behind this. If they can win this fight, SuperNova's got the mineral line seeded with Widowmines. The first blasts are going to kill everything, obviously, but if they can hold the lines here, Heart and Crank are going to take some very serious losses. They lose that extra base here to the Roach attack at the same time. They are winning the army fight, though. And if SuperNova and Symbol cannot hold, it doesn't matter if they're Widowmines in the mineral lines or not. In fact, they have killed quite a few workers at this point.
We got a lot more Roaches on the way, as well as the Spire, so it looks like SuperNova did tell Symbol to go for the anti-air, but
it might be
without the army, I mean, they're on top of both productions right now. Symbol has that third base, but it's not helping out too much.
Oh, nice Widowmine shot on top of the Colossus. Still no follow-through for this, though. And Heart's army might just barely be enough without reinforcements. I mean, Colossus are kind of winning this in the big, flashy, showy way, but, you know, having more infantry, more buffer, everything worked out so much better for Team Axiom pro streamers. And, yeah, this is not looking so good for the other team. SuperNova with the Widowmine drop, so that was really cool. I kind of wish that would have happened as, like, an opener rather than a follow-up this late into the game.
Well...
it's over. It's over.
It is. I don't know, like, I don't know what they're waiting for, if they have, like, a bunch of Roaches in the way. I guess Symbol does. Symbol had a big bank, but that's not enough to take care of 2 armies. I think Heart just really did the better composition. That really had, it seemed like, more impact. I mean, when that fight happened, Heart lasted a long time before, like, Colossus even joined in. The Colossus joined at, like, the last 2 seconds.
Well, congratulations, Team Axiom professional streamers.